Always a pleasure having my next guest on the show. It's Connor Matthews, who will be back at Dana White's Contender Series October the 10th when he takes on Jair Farias. Connor, how are you?
Great, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I was really excited when I saw that video that you posted on your Instagram with Dana White, basically letting everyone know that you're back at Contender Series. What's the feelings like, man? How excited are you to be back here and get the second crack?
Um, Obviously, I'm really grateful. You know what I mean? Last year, I had a really tough fight against Francis Marshall. I learned a lot in that fight, and I changed up a lot of things in my training. I changed up a lot of things to make myself better. And now I get a whole new product coming this year. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to get back on there and fight again. A lot of people only get one shot, so I'm very, very happy to get out there and do it again.
Can you elaborate on some of the things the changes that you've made since that fight?
Yeah, so now I'm training fully with the New England Cartel. So, training with Rob Font, Calvin Cater, Tom Pax, Nick Fior, Tyson Chartier has been my is my head coach, and so that's been a huge change. Just having the intensity of the training sessions, one, and just like having real professionals on me as training partners every day is a huge change and an advantage to what I was doing last time. On top of that, I've been working with Pete Luciani, who's he trains out of my gym basement. I've been working striking with him a lot, and I feel like my striking game has grown so much. And then I continued with Jake Manini, who's my Muay Thai coach, who's my striking coach for my last fight, and I feel like I'm able to deliver the tools and weapons that working with Pete and both of those striking coaches, and my striking game is leveled up substantially. So yeah, big those are big things that really changed.
So the Connor Matthews that we saw against Francis Marshall, you're light years ahead of that guy. It was almost a year ago now.
Yeah, absolutely. Light years. I mean, you probably saw it in my last fight for Dana White's looking for a fight at Encore Casino. I finished that guy who's a really good wrestler, and I finished him pretty easily. I defended his takedowns. It just changed a lot of my game. And then even from there to now, I feel like I've even leveled up a whole nother level. I know everybody says that, but I really truly feel it, and it's evident. It's like in my training, it's just like I definitely leveled up another to hold up. So I'm ready to go. I'm excited to get out there and I want to fight against the best guys in the world.
Well, you definitely got that, an undefeated fighter. You mentioned looking for a fight. Obviously, you're talking about Combat Zone 79, round one RNC victory. Did you kind of
Yep.
know that? I mean, obviously Dana's right there in the front row. It was kind of like another audition, right? To go in there to show yourself. What was the pressure like for that fight?
Honestly, after fighting for the contender series, fighting on that stage, coming back to Combat Zone, even though Dana White was there, I felt like that was my house and my show. So it was I felt very confident, calm, relaxed, fighting there after where I was at for after the contender series. So yeah, I felt like that was it needed to happen, and I felt really calm, relaxed, and I think that was when I really feel like a true professional. I really look at myself like I have had only two professional fights. Everything in front of that was just kind of like I had things I had to check off to get to where I'm at right now. So I feel like as a professional, I'm really just 1-1. That's the way I look at it. And I was, ready to go for that fight when it came up.
Run me through, looking back at that fight against Francis Marshall, obviously a very tough opponent. What did you learn just about specifically, a skill set that you needed to improve on in that fight?
So it's really came down to positioning and where I'm at and my striking. Like I was just kind of blindly walking forward, using because I used to be able to rely on my power a lot, and like guys would take a couple of shots, especially at the lower levels. Like guys, you take a shot, and that's it. Boom, I'm on them. I win the fight. You start getting up to the higher levels, guys. They can eat a couple, good shots, and then they're not going to go anywhere. And I think that needed that pressure back towards me to feel like how to deal with that. So just mentally and tactically at the way I fight, I've changed completely. So those are big things. And then the wrestling aspect, I was more of a jiu-jitsu guy growing up, especially growing up in Joe Lozon's gym. He's a grappler, jiu-jitsu kind of fighter. We weren't wrestling as much. We were mostly practicing jiu-jitsu and not MMA specific wrestling. I totally changed that. All I do now is MMA specific wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So that changed the way I train. So that's the biggest things that changed.
What was it like making the walk down there at Contender Series, the bright lights, for the first time? Was it different than anything you felt before?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I feel like the walk was fine, whatever. Getting to the fight, it's always the same. You're always going to have those nerves going into the cage, no matter what level where you're fighting. Me, it was the traveling and all that stuff really affected me. Like, so I fought on a Tuesday. I think they flew us out on like a Saturday. So like and it's the time difference really messed with me. I was like, I couldn't get my sleep down. Staying in the casino. Usually when I weigh in, at 45. I put on, I get back up to like 160 plus. And this time when I fought for DWCS, I was only got up to 153. So my recovery after my weight cut, even the weight cut was easy. I made weight easy, but like I didn't recover the way I usually do. So I'm fixed that. I know what I'm going to do for that. I'm going to go out there a little bit earlier this time. And, I got an Airbnb and I didn't have the food and nutrition that I thought the UFC was going to give us rehydration drinks, which they didn't. So there's a lot of little things that happened that people didn't see behind the scenes that now I'm more prepared and ready to go for.
Obviously, I would imagine you're going to have Tyson in your corner, who will be there on fight night.
Yeah, it's going to have Tyson Chartier and Jake Manini. And then I'm going to bring out Pete as well. But we can only have 2 cornermen for this fight. So I'm going to bring Jake and Tyson. They've been there the most. They have a lot of experience working with Rob and Calvin and Nick. So, they know what to do. So I'm going to bring those guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be such a nice feeling to have someone like Tyson in your corner to be able to kind of guide your career and help you with, evolving as a fighter. I mean, you said you're light years ahead of where we saw you last time when you were at Contender Series. And then obviously having Rob and Calvin. I mean, what has it been like sparring and working with those guys?
I mean, just it's a wealth of knowledge. You know what I mean? Like they little things, little tips and here and there I get from those guys that, it helps me out so much. Never mind just the skill level of having to deal with that. You see there you figure out what to do or you get smothered and beat up. So it's really important to get that resistance on you. So yeah, it's been huge. It's totally game changer for me.
Man, I was so frustrated watching the Font Sandhagen fight. I can only imagine what it was like for you. I'm sure you've talked to him afterwards. How's the spirits?
So I haven't seen him yet. He's been out of the gym, I'll be honest. So, but I talked to him. He says, I text him. He said he's going to bounce back. No, you know what I mean? He's obviously not happy with his performance, but it is what it is. He took the fight short notice against one of the best guys in the world. And that's what happens. We thought the fight was going to be different. I thought it was going to be a lot more striking exchange and then a wrestling. And you know what I mean? It is what it is, but he'll be back. He'll bounce back. He'll come back and be, where he gained a lot of confidence, I think, especially after that, the fight before that down in Miami against Giannis. So I think that, he's going to bounce back from this one. Hopefully in his next fight, he get a full camp and come back refocused and re-attack.
Yeah, no doubt he'll be back better than ever. I wanted to ask you too, I wonder how difficult it was for him to take this fight with Sandhagen when he had this matchup already with the Song at UFC Boston, this pay-per-view card that's right around the corner. Was there any second guessing? Because I have to imagine fighting in Boston would have been pretty darn special too.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, but for the way he was looking at it, is Rob he wants to be the champ. He wants to be the best in the world. So he figured, if the UFC is offering him this short notice fight against one of the best, if he wins, he takes this fight. And now he's in contention for, fighting for the title. And that's his ultimate goal. So you sometimes as a fighter, you just got to take what you get at this level, man. You're fighting every top 10, 15 guy you could be on one night or could be off. So you never know what's going to happen. So you have to be able to fight anybody when you get to that level. You have to be ready to accept and fight the best of the best. So I'm sure he wasn't happy with his performance, but so hats off to him for taking that fight on a short notice. That's one of the hardest fights in the world. Corey Sandhagen can do it all. I mean, Corey Sandhagen is one of my favorite fighters to watch. So it's like, and I think Rob feels the same way. So, but he definitely was. He was saying he beat all the guys that Rob lost to. So that being said, that should put a light a fire under your ass. You know what I mean? So he was definitely, it is what it is, but he went out there and, we'll bounce back from that one.
Yeah. Again, no doubt. I want to stick with this cartel theme for a second. Any update on when we're going to see Calvin back in action?
Calvin, I was just training with him today. I haven't heard anything from when he's going to fight, but he's full on rolling, training. He's moving great. We're doing light sparring and stuff today. So he'll be back soon. I'm sure probably November, December time frame is what I'm thinking. But yeah, he's all in right now. He's back in the gym.
Very cool.
That's another thing. Like for the last year, he's been in the room, but he hasn't really been training too hard. He's been recovering from this knee injury. So I'm glad to have him back, especially coming back for my fight. So hopefully that can link up. The kid I'm fighting is a taller guy. Calvin's a 145er. He's a taller guy as well. He's got great hands. So it's like, I'm glad to have him back just in time for my fight.
Oh yeah, makes total sense. And I got to ask you about one of my favorite fighters in New England, Tom Pags. I know he suffered a little bit of a setback, a little bit of an injury, so he's going to be
Yep.
on the shelf for a little while. Give me an update on Tom.
Yeah, Tom's back training too. I mean, he's training with headgear, and I'm sorry that I broke his orbital by accident. But
that was you. That was you that did that.
Yeah, we're in training, we're like, but he's doing good now. He's back into full on training. I mean, he has to wear headgear and stuff, but he'll be back before you know it. He's had a couple rough goes here with like injuries, poor guy. But like Tom is an absolute savage. People don't realize what he needs more hype behind him, to be honest. Yeah. How I believe. I mean, in the room, his wrestling, his MMA knowledge. He's really good. I mean, he's just been training with like Rob and Calvin and Nick for his whole professional career, which is a huge advantage that people are not gonna say. I can't wait to once he gets up to the UFC and we'll see what he can do. And he's a big frame as well, big long type 45er as well. So he's gonna be a good work for me for this fight.
Yeah, no doubt. So his ceiling, you believe he'll be in the UFC one day?
Oh, dude, yeah, he's good. He's really good. I mean, he's a really good wrestler, and his strikings came along a lot. From when I started working with, I remember the first time I sparred with him in like 3 or 4 years ago at Lausanne's. He was just started. He was an amateur. He just came back into this, and I just moved back into Massachusetts, and then he's like, where he's at from there to now is insane. He's so good now. So it's like I'm excited to see what he can do. As long as he stays healthy, he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, for sure. And more importantly, he's a great human being. I love talking to the guy. He's just a really solid dude. So.
Oh yeah, smart too. Very smart, great guy. Yeah,
for sure. Now, obviously you're down in the Boston area. I'm from Maine, so we're both in New England here, my man. Yeah. Are you into all the other team sports like I am? Are you a Patriots fan? Are you looking forward to the season?
I am. I'm a Patriots fan of the past. I'd be honest, I haven't been watching sports as much as I used to, just because I'm so focused on everything that I'm doing. I'm a hockey fan. I was a hockey player growing up, so that was my #1 sport, believe it or not. And then but not too much of a baseball or basketball. So yeah, I don't really know any of those players, but I definitely follow the Pats.
So you must have been pretty devastated about the Bruins, the way that the season ended.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was rough. So, but we got Milan Lucic back this year, which is I'm pretty excited about that. And he was one of my favorite players. So I wanted to see how he's going to be. He's a little bit older now, but I don't know if he's going to bring the intensity that he used to. But it should be good. We need that. We need a big body. We had too much skill on the team. It was weird. You know what I mean? Some of the best hockey I've ever seen. That just to get playoff hockey is a totally different game.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was really, really unfortunate the way that the season ended. Let's move forward here to, again, October the 10th. It's still a little ways away, so you got a lot of time to get ready here in camp. Do you plan on going anywhere else, or are you just going to be right there with the core that you have around you to get ready for Jair?
Yeah, no, we're saying I'm saying here. I got my team here. Only time I'll have to leave is go do my pre-shoots for the Vegas, to do my video and stuff before. But other than that, maybe I'll get some training out there, Extreme Couture or something. But the camp's gonna be done here for sure. I got everything I need here. I got my coaches. For me, it's like safety too. Like I can trust the guys I'm training with in the room. That's why it's small. Like you go to those bigger gyms, like American Top Team and all this. Like you're training with like 1,000 other guys who are dangerous from different countries. That, you know what I mean? They don't really care about your career and they're just trying to work on themselves, and you might get hurt. That's what I like about my team is we're small. But we have high level guys, and we can kind of stay safe and train properly. So I'm definitely staying around here. And I got my basement. I got my basement gym. I'm building up. Got some fighters down here, so that's the other place I train at.
Where are you right now?
So this is my house. This is mom's. We call it mom's basement MMA. I got a cage, so I'll take a little video real quick. This is the basement gym.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a little workout area. This is my mats. Right. Oh, sorry. Got my mats. There's a little waiting area right there. And here's the cage. So, yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
How long did it take you to get all of that in there and situated the way that it is?
So really, I had a gym. I was at a CrossFit gym, and I was just renting some space from them. That went under. So when that went under, I moved the mats to, this is supposed to be temporary. I was supposed to be here, not my parents. Like, you could just move them in the basement for a little bit. They kind of had kids class going, had classes going. They could move there for a little bit. And then slowly but surely, I've been here for like a year now. We did like the cage. We just got the cage like last week. All the mat. So I've been building it for like the last year, and to keep adding on and adding on, it's been pretty awesome. Not gonna lie,
Yeah, very cool, man. Looks like a 5-star gym you got going there. Um,
it's
uh,
not bad.
yeah, no doubt. Connor, obviously featherweight bout here. What's the weight right now today? What have you weighed yourself?
166 today. That's what I walk around right now, usually. And so I'm always at that weight. It's really weird. It's like no matter what I eat or what I do, I always balance out at 166. That's my walk around weight.
All right. And obviously, a tough opponent. He's undefeated. He's 10-0, 7 TKO victories, 2 submission wins. I mean, is this the hardest opponent you've ever had in your career? Is this harder than Francis Marshall?
It's hard to tell, to be honest. You know what I mean? You don't know what, from this guy from Brazil, like who his opponents or who he's going against. It's hard to really tell. I think Francis is a really, really good, tough opponent for me, to be honest. But yeah, he's definitely, he's got the record. He's 10-0. Sorry, my dog just spit all over me. But he's gonna be a challenge. But I'm in here to fight the best guys in the world. Like I mean, it could be him. Before I know, I'm gonna be fighting Volkanovski or whoever it is. You know what I mean? That's my goal to fight in the UFC is to fight the best in the world. So this is what I expect. I want to fight these kind of guys. So I mean, if I can't get past them, then I don't deserve to be in the UFC. That's the way I look at it. So.
Do you think that you're going to feel even more pressure for this fight? I mean, this being your second crack at Contender Series. I mean, pretty much. I mean, we've seen someone else. I can't remember who it was. Someone got a third shot at Contender Series. Do you think you'll feel that added pressure?
No, I don't think so. I look at all my fights the same way. It's I'm gonna be who I am on that day when it comes. Like that's what it is. Like I don't feel any pressure from anybody. You know what I mean? It's like I want to win. I want to be the best, and I'm going to go in there and show everybody who I am. That's really there's no added pressure. Whatever way it goes, it goes. That's what I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be as prepared as possible, and that's the only thing you can do. You can prepare as the best you possibly can and work your ass off day in and day out and show up and fight. Listen to your coaches and do the right things, and whatever happens, happens.
Obviously, you have Tyson and Jake to break down film and formulate a game plan. But when you just look at what he brings to the table, what kind of a fight are you expecting? What do you think we're going to see come fight night?
He's got a lot. He's long. He's got a lot of kicks. So he seems to be he's some boxing. He's very kind of moves like a Pereira kind of wide stance with his feet, but moves his head back. Does a lot of pulling. So that's what he's gonna do. So I'm gonna go in there. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna be doing, but I have a game plan. We know what we're gonna do.
And obviously with Contender Series, it's all about quick finishes and putting your opponent away and looking impressive doing so. Does that come into the game plan, or are you more concerned with getting your hand raised and just getting a dominant win?
I just do whatever it takes in the moment to get the job done. I've never looked for a fast finish. When they come because that's how they come. You know what I mean? That's if you try to go in there, it's like a baseball player trying to hit a ball and just swing it as hard as he can at the ball, he's probably going to strike out. That's the way I look at it. So you just got to go and just make those decisions in the moment, and whatever happens, happens.
Do you think you get a finish? What's your ultimate prediction here?
For this fight? I could finish this guy 100%, 100% finish this guy. I mean, I have power in my hands. I mean, it's evident. I've dropped a lot of guys. So yeah, I definitely think I could finish this guy.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to see you back in there, Connor. Again, October the 10th. It'll be here before you know it, Connor. The controller, Matthews, back at Contender Series. Great talking to you again, my man. It's been far too long. Before we do sign off here today, I want to give you the floor. If there's anyone you want to thank, anything you want to plug, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, my team, the New England Cartel. If you guys don't know who they are, probably all of you guys know who they are. Go check them out. And then firstthare.org. They've been my sponsor for this fight camp. And if you go on there, they have sell my merch on the website. So the controller MMA, they sell my shirts on there. All that money goes to a nonprofit organization to help out veterans like me who are chasing their dreams after their military career. So if you guys can get on there, buy a shirt, and the money goes to them, I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much.